All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, December 14th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. Marcel, man, looking forward to talking about this card with you. Tuesday afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, guys, the podcast new time now, 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday and Tuesdays. Marcel, what's going on, man?
Not much, to be honest, at the moment, man. I had pretty busy day at work today, lots of mail, and people are still having these. How do you say that? Those program guides for what's coming on TV. You have them. You just have to check them on TV. People have them still coming, and there's a double edition this week. So, yeah, was so happy with that. But yeah, I'm happy I was home at a certain moment, and yeah, I'm
Yeah,
ready
it just
to.
Marcel. Every time I hear you talking about your job as a mailman, it bothers you. Not in the fact that you're a hardworking guy. It's just that you got such a mind for this game. You need to be working in this industry 100%, like full time, 24/7. It just blows my mind. It boggles my mind. I felt the same way about myself for a long time too. So it's a weird industry, guys. You got really talented people like Marcel that don't have full time employment in this industry. I just don't get it. Hopefully in the future, Marcel, this changes for the people that are coming into the sport. Now and 10 years from now, they'll get more opportunities. But
Mhm.
you know how it is, Marcel. It's a grind. It's just, again, I know you like your job doing the mail, but to me, it's like it's such a waste for this industry that you're not breaking fights 24/7. That's all I wanted to say, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
No problem, man. No, I mean it. I mean it, man. You're a hardworking guy. All right, hype MMA. Let's get to 20. Let's do it, man. Let's get right into it because we have 14 fights. So let's just start with the first one. Let's work our way through this card. All right, Marcel, first fight in the night. And I sent Marcel a tweet or a DM yesterday. I'm like, Marcel, this fight's really weird, man. I'm having a hard time with this one. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts because I have no idea what you're thinking. We got Jordan Levitt taking on Matt Sales. This is a really, really tough fight to call, in my opinion. And the odds indicate that it's a pick of minus 110 each, Marcel. So, as you call it, Marcel, it's one of those nightmare fights to pick, I think, anyways. What's your thoughts on it, man?
But because you said it so explicitly to me that it's difficult, I want to hear yours actually
Okay,
before
that's
my
fair.
goes.
I just think it's a tough fight to call, man. I think that
Mhm.
Levitt, looked amazing against Matt Wyman for like 15 seconds or over 20 seconds, however the
Yeah.
fight lasted. Looked terrible against Claudio Puelles, who I predicted would beat him.
Mhm.
And then you got Matt Sales, who's I think 1-2 in the UFC, and he's hasn't fought in almost 2 years, coming off a Twister loss. It's just a weird fight, Also, it's at lightweight. Matt Sales has been fighting at featherweight. He's moving
Mhm.
up a weight class in his return. Although I don't think his plan is to stay there forever. I just find it a difficult fight. Also, John from the All Star interviewed Matt, who said that he got up to 250 pounds heavy during his 2 years off. So he got up to heavyweight at one point, which kind of concerns me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, Marcel. I felt like this is a really tough fight to call, guys, honestly, because I think Matt Sales can beat Jordan Levitt. I think he can knock him out. I think he can maybe, hang with him in the grappling. But I think that the fact that it's at lightweight and not at featherweight, and Levitt he's not fighting a really high level grappler like Paul's. He's fighting a guy who's not I don't think as good as Paul's on the ground. I think Levitt's grappling should be enough to kind of grind him out a decision here, Marcel, but I'm not confident at all. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like this is kind of a coin flip fight. So the minus 110 odds to me to look really fine. So it's a pick for Jordan Levitt, but it's not confident, Marcel. What about you, man?
It's so difficult to see how Sales comes back. I think his losses are against legit guys, against
Yeah,
Shimon Moraes and against
Bryce
what's his
Mitchell.
against Bryce Mitchell, yeah, the Twister one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Levitt was really not impressive in his last fight, man, against Claudio Puelles, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
you called that. Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah.
remember that. Before that, you can't really say anything about the Wyman fight. It was so quick, so you
Yeah.
can't really read anything from that. And before that, he had that Luke Flores fight against on the Contender Series where he won. Also got a win over Bevon Lewis's brother. Um, yeah, I, I'm just going against you in this one. I'm thinking I'm going with Sales. I think it's a
I
super
don't blame
close
you.
fight.
I don't
And I'm
blame you at
taking
all.
Sales for the knockout, probably.
Yeah, I think it's possible, man, for sure. This is a really tough fight to call, guys. Daniel said, "Mr. You, oh, come on, Daniel. Are you trolling us for? I have trouble Peter Sales Levitt. Such a blatant set of fight. It seems like it, right? It does seem like that, but he's not that great, man. He doesn't have much striking. His wrestling's not as good as we had thought. I think Matt Sales is a pretty good strikers, got a lot of knockout power. His grappling is okay, except for the last fight, obviously. But he did submit Kyle Nelson, so this is a tough fight to call, man. Maybe it'll play a lot easier than what we're thinking. Maybe one of these guys dominates, but I think it's just a really tough fight to call because of the layoff for sale. We haven't seen him forever. We just don't know how he's going to perform. Again, I'm going to pick Levitt, but I'm not confident, guys. All right, next fight. This fight's also kind of tricky one, I think. There's a lot of fights in this card where I'm really confident in some of the winners, but these first couple are sketchy.
I can honestly, no disrespect, but I can honestly say that the bout order in this one is pretty much legit. You know what I mean? The fights who should be 1 and 2 probably on the prelims are 1 and 2.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, so we got Dontel Mays against Josh Parisian. Dontel Mays minus 190, Josh Parisian plus 165. They're both coming off a win over Roque Martinez. So the fight makes sense from a matchmaking perspective. Give me your thoughts, Marcel. What do you think?
Yeah, if you look at Josh Parisian, he got that win over Roque Martinez, which is a very controversial win. I think Roque could have got that one as well.
Let me just say, I bet on Roque, and I picked him. I thought he won the fight, and I think that it should be, Roque coming off the win over Josh, not the other way around. I think he got cut after that. So
yeah,
it's brutal, man, this sport. Like, one judge could have given him that fight, he would have still been in the UFC. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
To be honest, I hate it from the UFC as well. If you see a fight where like 99% of the people could see that Roque Martinez won, and you're going to cut him after. And they have done it before with other fighters as well, I really don't like that. But, hey, what can you do? The UFC, Dana also said he never lies about fights on Saturday. So, hey, who am I to go against them? Josh Parisian, hasn't impressed me at all so far, man. Got to be honest here. I remember him getting the win over Greg Rebello, it's like 3 years ago already. Mm-hmm. Then he was hoping to get a contract, and then Dana was like, "We're gonna put you on the Ultimate Fighter," and he looked like, "Oh man."
I know.
He didn't win the Ultimate Fighter, but got some wins at the regional circuit. Comes to Contender Series, got a win there. Didn't look good against Parker Porter at all. Actually, also didn't look good against Roque Martinez. So if you look at Dontel Mays, man, Mays actually fought Cyril Gane in his UFC debut, right? And he got submitted very late in the third round. After that, the loss to Nascimento. And he won against Roque Martinez. So for me, it's really a 50-50 fight again here. But I'm really feeling like I'm going with Dontel Mays here. I'm taking Mays via a typical heavyweight decision win.
Yeah, this fight is really weird. I think this fight could be it could be a quick knockout, but I feel it's going to be a grind, honestly. I think these guys are going to grind at each other against the fence. It's going to be one of those type of fights, Marcel. They're both just really inconsistent. Like, both guys they have their wins over Roque, but it doesn't say much, let's be honest. And then when they fought higher level guys, they've lost. This is a tricky one too. I got to be honest. I'm off the Josh Parisian bandwagon now, though, so I'm going to have to pick Dontel Mays just because I'm just not. I thought Parisian 3 years ago when he knocked out Rebello, I thought he could have did something in the UFC, but he took too long to get here, and now that he's here, he just hasn't looked great in my opinion. At least Mays, he's still in his 20s. He could make some improvements. I'll say that. So go with Dontel Mays. I think he's going to grind it out though, Marcel, for a decision. What are you going to say?
I really felt like that 3 years ago when Parisian won, that the UFC actually was banking on Greg Rebello winning that fight,
They might have been,
yeah, and when he didn't, they were like, "I'll put him on the Ultimate Fighter," and it didn't do him any good, in my opinion. But hey,
anyways, I'm looking at some odds for this one. I think the fight goes over 1.5, so it's minus 180. So again, heavyweights, they typically end in a quick knockout, but I feel like the way these guys match up, I think it's going to be. I think the fight goes maybe the 3 rounds, Marcel. Honestly, it's a grind. That's what I feel like. So I don't know if you think so, or you think it's going to be a knockout.
Yeah, I have a decision. Yeah,
there you go.
So heavyweight decision.
We're both like that. All right, let's go to the comments here. Born Again says 50-50 fight. I'll take the dog for fun. Yeah, I don't blame you in a heavyweight fight. I don't blame you. For 2 low level guys. Parisian his ground finishes, made finish on the ground. It's true. Parisian big favorite. Dave. Not against Rebello though. Rebello, he was an underdog in that fight, I believe. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Macy Chason against Raquel Pennington. Odds for this one. Oh, it's that women's featherweight fight, by the way, guys. This is at 145, eh? Did you notice that, Marcel? This is at 145, guys.
No, it's at 135, man.
According to UFC stats, it's at 145.
What the hell?
So it must have changed. Okay, so that's interesting. I want to tweet something out about that. But right now we got Raquel Pennington minus 200, Macy Chason plus 170. What are you thinking about this one, man?
Um, Difficult to be really honest, man, because I think Jason has a good future. But on the other hand, man, if you look at who Macy has fought so far, um, probably her best win is against Penny Kianzad, right? And that was the Ultimate Fighter finale. In my opinion, then. Uh, and still, that Lena Landsberg fight, man, that Macy lost, that's really concerning still to me because I don't see Lena Landsberg as a top 10 or whatever, you know. If you look at Raquel Pennington, she's on a 2-fight win streak. And a total boredom to watch, to be really honest. You know, not really something I prefer to watch. I'm actually happy they didn't put it on the main card. Um, it's going to be either Macy with a nice finish, or it's going to be Pennington with a lot of cage grinding again, holding her up to the cage. And yeah, you know, I'm not sure it's 45 fight. It was a 45 fight. I might favor Macy, but it's 35. I favor Pennington, man, with a very boring decision win again.
What's at 45, Marcel? So you're favoring Chase on them because it is at 45, according
How
to
sure are you?
I mean, UFC stats is pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
but
Would you say?
they had a mistake last time as well. So how sure are you?
I mean, Marcel, like I'm not. I guess I'm not sure, but I feel like it's. I don't know why they would write featherweight if it isn't, because also it's short notice for Chase on. Maybe that's part of it. I'll take the fight if it's at 145.
Let me check ESPN what they have.
Yeah, no worries. I just because I do think it changes the fight, obviously, guys. Like,
For sure.
You know, it does. Like, probably gives Macy a better chance. You know, because she obviously hasn't been super active. She had a few fights follow. Let me take a look here.
Yeah, women's featherweight. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a featherweight, guys. So it's at 145.
Yeah, I'm picking Macy in that case.
Yeah, and I don't blame you really. I think so. You are going to take me by decision, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. I think it's a competitive fight, guys. I do. You know, I think it's competitive. If Macy had a full camp, I think I would have maybe picked her here, but it's super short notice. Raquel Payne. Here's the thing. I don't like watching her fight. Like, to me, she's like John Fitch when he used to fight. Like, when he would fight, you would go to the bathroom or something like that because you just knew it'd be kind of a boring fight, honestly. Almost all of her fights go to decision, and they're often grinding type of fights. I kind of feel like that's what she's going to do here. I think she's going to push Macy against the fence, grind her out, win a 29-28 type of decision, Marcel. I have no interest in betting on this fight. From DFS perspective, I don't really have a lot of interest in it. Maybe I have some interest in Macy as an underdog, but Pennington it's not a fighter I want to bet on here. I do think she probably wins a decision, guys, but I don't love the spot. -200, you have to lay juice on her here. It's not for me, I'll pass on a play for this one, but it would be Pennington by decision, which is +110. So that does seem like the most likely outcome to me. But
it's super weird that nobody else has mentioned it that it's at 145. I think everybody has this is at 135. So it's really weird. I understand. It's probably at 145, but it's so weird nobody has picked that up so far. You know what I mean? I think you're the first one to see it.
I know. It's crazy. Like I wasn't trying. They might have even changed it today, honestly, because like I remember, I want to say I was looking at UFC stats yesterday or 2 days ago, and I think it said bantamweight. So they've changed it. Anyways, it was short notice for Macy Jason. I'm guessing that's why, guys. It was moved up a weight class.
Oh yeah, of course. That might be it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, Marcel. Like I'm saying, she's on short notice. Like, so. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna take Pennington by decision. Let me get these comments. You got the Dutch Storlax. There's your guy right there. There he is. Guys, with Payne winning, how much does the bantamweight division open up? Opens up a little bit, JFM, but the thing is, they're going to do a rematch first, so it doesn't open up a lot until if she wins both the fights, then it really opens up because then it's like there's so many new fights. All 3 heavyweight matchups. I agree. There's some good ones. Payne, yeah, I think it's going to be Payne by decision, but you're right. Without the weight cut for Macy, the brutal weight cut, maybe she'll perform well. Actually, to be honest with Marcel, I do think it tilts the scale in her favor a little bit more. Chase on, I think the weight. Yeah, I think it's good. It's probably a good thing for her. I mean, she is the bigger fighter, guys. She has to cut more weight, so it could be a good thing for her.
You could see it at when she fought. I know Penny and Raquel are not the same, but when she fought Penny and in the Ultimate Fighter finale, it was also at 145, I think.
Yeah,
and she outstrength her as well. So, I mean. Yeah, we'll see, man. Maybe not, maybe true, but I'm definitely not sure about my pick here.
I don't even know if Raquel's fought at featherweight before, has she? Like,
I can't recall. I can't recall, Raquel.
Not in the UFC. Let me see if she's fought it like before the UFC because she had some.
I'm just laughing about my own jokes.
It's okay.
So bad.
I was thinking, look, like has she fought it before? I don't think so.
Think in the UFC, not at least.
I don't even think before the UFC. It doesn't look like even before the UFC she had. So this is new for her. Oh, that makes it even kind of trickier. She did miss weight when she fought Jermaine Durandamy a few years ago, though. So, anyways, guys, it's another interesting anecdote for this fight.
Yeah.
As soon as people say women's 145, people lose their hearing. The doctor says it's a real issue. Macy has bad first round. Pennington has bad first round. Macy's great early. It might put a small bit of chase on. I think it's not a bad bet. You know, I think as for an underdog, she's got a chance. Better than the odds are indicating. Because I would cap it at like minus 150 for Pennington, like a slight favorite. I don't know if she should be 2-1. I don't think it's like necessarily wrong because I do think she's going to win the fight, but I just think it should be the lot should be a little bit tighter, especially at the weight class. Okay, let's go to the next fight. These literally has the same odds: minus 200 for Charles Jourdain, plus 170 Andre Ewell. It's like the odds makers are like, all right, let's use the same odds for this fight too. No, I'm just kidding. That's what it came down to. So we got Jourdain and Ewell. Marcel, give me your thoughts on this one. In fact, this is at featherweight, men's featherweight.
By the way, I'm reading here from Nolan King. Juliana Pena says mom champ remark wasn't dig at Amanda Nunes. Words are misinterpreted. Ding, ding, ding. You know?
Yeah, right. How is it misinterpreted? What an absolute joke. Why didn't you just stay by her words? What is she worried about? Like, stand by your words, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
It wasn't wrong.
Nah, in my opinion, neither. So, yeah, whatever.
Anyways.
Charles Jourdain, yeah, man, I got to be honest with you, man. I was surprised he got finished by Julian Erosa. And before that, he had that crazy fight with Marcel Rojo. Beautiful first name, by the way, if I can say. The thing is with Jourdain, actually everybody was really like hyping him after he won against Du Hu Choi, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, this guy can be great. But you got to be honest, man. He only won one of his his last 4 fights. Got to say the Koulibaly fight he should have got the win in my opinion. I think he won 2-1 in my opinion. I don't know if you think so as well. You look really like...
I thought I did have it. I think I scored it for him. Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because you gave me a really like angry face.
No, it wasn't that. I just remember being a really close fight, being pissed because I had him in a parlay. It's not that I lost, but I didn't end up getting, because Koulibaly drawed with him. I thought he won the fight. I think I scored 2 rounds to 1 for him. But
so yeah, and if you look at Andre Ewell, a really fun fighter to watch. But in his last 5. 1-2, but you got to be honest. The Jonathan Martinez one, he didn't win that one. To be really honest, the Irvin Rivera one, I gave that one to him. And this is a difficult fight. I still think Charles Jourdain is a little bit more talented than Andre Ewell, and it's no disrespect to him because I really like Ewell as well. But I kind of favor Charles Jourdain here, and I'm taking Jourdain via decision. I think this has fight of the night potential, to be honest.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I remember when Ewell came to the UFC, like I bet on him against Barao, and that was a nice bet as an underdog. And I'm like, man, this guy's gonna have a good career. It just hasn't played out that way. He's beaten guys that aren't in the UFC, except for Martinez, which honestly wasn't a good decision by the judges. The guy's just inconsistent, and he hasn't looked good. The weight class switch could be a good thing though, because maybe he'll be more durable because the durability didn't look there at 135. So maybe at 145 he'll be more durable and be able to fight for longer too. I just can't count on that. You look at Jourdain. I know he hasn't looked like his record in the UFC is not good. It's 2-3-1, which is just it's disappointing to say the least. But he has 6 knockdowns in 6 fights. He has 6 knockdowns. He's also been dropped once himself, but he's landed 6 knockdowns, and he's going up against a chinny guy in Andre Ewell. I'm going with Charles Jourdain by knockout, man. I'm going to take the power of the Canadian here. I think he knocks him out, Marcel, honestly. So I'm going to go with Charles Jourdain. I just don't trust Andre Ewell at this weight class at 135, wherever. I don't think he's UFC caliber. One of these guys is just he's too like long and tall. He should have put on more like muscle and stuff, or something like Marcel. Because he's one of these guys. He's like, remember Corey Hill? He passed away a few years ago. Poor guy But remember, the guy broke his leg. That guy, very similar. No durability, just a long, tall guy. Like James Vick, another guy, very similar. These long, tall guys with weak chins. I mean,
Corey Hill, man, I remind him from The Ultimate Fighter in the season with Nate Diaz. And
he broke his leg. Remember in that fight, he died a few.
Yeah, horrible against Dale Hart, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the guy's name. Yeah, good call, Marcel. Anyways, let me get these comments. Hey, no, what's going on? He says this should be a stand-up brawl. I appreciate you guys doing the show and spreading knowledge to the people. Much love. Hey, man, I enjoy doing the show. When I got my new job, which I started at, by the way, my second day today. One of the things was I was like, I really want to keep doing my show with Marcel as my friend. I like doing the show with them. I truly enjoy doing it. And doesn't take a lot of time. It's 2 hours a week. So I made sure to keep doing this, Marcel, because it's important for me to do it. Because I like doing it. We haven't missed the show since we started. I think earlier this year with me and you. Okay, let's go to the next fight. Sajara Eubanks against Melissa Gatto. This one's at women's 125. Right now we have Eubanks minus 160, Gatto plus 140. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, Eubanks looked great in our last fight against Elise Reed, but I think Elise Reed is normally at 115, right, and not at 125. So that was a little bit of a. I don't know if I really can count. We should count that fight, but we really can't count it. You know what I mean? If you look at Melissa Gatto, she looked good against Victoria Leonardo. She got that there was a doctor stoppage because of the broken arm. And she got a win over Carla Rosa in 2018 before Carla Rosa went to the UFC, and she got a win via Kimura. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've seen Gatto in the UFC. She looked good, but we also have to take in consideration that she hadn't fought before for 2 years. And I don't know. Listen, and to be really honest, Victoria Leonardo, I don't have anything against her, but I don't think she's UFC caliber, and Gatto won against her. The same, Eubanks is tough, but I just don't know, man. I have a hard time picking Eubanks, but at the same time, I'm also not convinced that Gatto will go through Eubanks, you know what I mean? So, but I'm still picking Gatto here. I take Gatto via decision because Eubanks sometimes gasses in the later rounds. So I'm taking Gatto.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting pick. This fight's close. I feel like this is one of the harder fights to call in the card too. Just because Gatto's such an unknown still. Like, she looked great in the one fight, right? But it was only the one fight. I think that was after a long layoff too. And also against, like you said, Leonardo's not that great. So what does it really show? But it was impressive just to see the way she ran through the girl, At the same time, Eubanks looked great in her last fight too at 125. And I feel like she's found the right weight class for her. Marcel, like, she's been inconsistent in the UFC, but man, she looked dominant in the last fight. Yeah. It's just, again, if she doesn't finish the fight, maybe she does gas out and Gatto takes over, right? So this is a tough one to call, guys, honestly. I'm leaning, Marcel, it's a slight lean towards Eubanks for me by decision, just because
I'm also not sure.
Yeah, I thought she looked really good in the last fight. So I'm going to go with her because I think at 125, the size and the strength will play. But I like Gatto too. I thought she looked good. And it's an interesting fight. So this is kind of like one of those wild card fights. Gatto's really young. She's only 25. So she can make improvements like really fast too. Yeah, I mean, I'm. It's a slight lead for me to Eubanks, guys. This one I'm kind of on the fence on. I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's go to the next. Or let's go to Glenn's comment. Hey, Glenn, Gatto's last 5 wins by finish. Sarge's never been finished. Big statement if Gatto could. That really would be. Let's go to the next fight here. Justin Toff and Harry Hunsucker. Speaking of finishes, this fight's not going 3 rounds. To be honest, I'd be surprised this fight even lasted 1 round. I think someone gets knocked out really fast. And the odds are saying Justin Tafa is going to knock out Harry Hunsucker. Tafa at minus 330, Hunsucker plus 270. Marcel, I'll start with this one. I mean, they're both low-level heavyweights. Like, honestly, they're both not that good. Justin Tafa is really not that good. He's not as good as everyone's saying he is. He's 1-3 in the UFC. He's not that great. But Harry Hunsucker, to me, is not UFC caliber whatsoever. So it's between a guy who's probably at the lowest ranked heavyweight in the roster and then the guy who's like the highest ranked guy outside the UFC that's just not good enough, in my opinion. So I think Tafa knocks out Hunsucker in the first round, Marcel. That's my pick. Obviously it's a low level heavyweight fight. If Hunsucker did land a haymaker, it wouldn't completely shock me because it's MMA and we see this happen all the time. But I think all things considered, Tafa probably knocks him out. I'm just not sold in the guy going forward against better opposition, but I think this is a fight Tafa probably wins. So what do you think?
If Hunsucker wins, Tafa gets booted. You know what I mean?
For sure. Loser gets cut for sure in this fight.
Yeah. This is pretty much a really low-level heavyweight fight, in my opinion, in the UFC. And I think Tafa is still a level above Hunsucker, to be really honest. And I'm taking Tafa first round knockout as well. And let's be honest, let's hope it's a first round finish here in this one. Because if this goes 15 minutes, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm probably going to the kitchen to take something to drink, because this is going to be a typical heavyweight fight if it goes 3 rounds, I think. But I'm going with the first round knockout for Justin Tafa, and I'm looking forward to see his brother in the UFC as well. I hope he gets a chance.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the next fight here. I think, did you break this fight? Barcelos, Victor Henry. Did you break this one?
No, I didn't break it.
Okay, you didn't break it, but you posted that picture that Josh Barnett, his teammate, didn't like it. That's what I remember now. So we have Barcelos against Henry, and I really like this fight. This is a really good fight. I got to be honest. Okay, so I'll start. Let me give you the odds first. The odds for this one: -320 for Barcelos, +260 for Victor Henry. So let me give my thoughts for this one, guys. So, obviously, Barcelos is a really good fighter. We all know that. I've been really good at picking his fights. I even picked the value upset in the last one, but even before I was picking all his wins too. So I think I have a really good read on Barcelos. He's a damn good fighter. It's just, with Ione, he came to the UFC a little too late. He's in his late 30s now. It's the same situation as who was it earlier? Josh Parisian, although he's a little bit younger. But yeah, this guy, I mean, he's 34. So to me, he came to the UFC a little bit too late. And I don't think he's going to be a champ, but I do think he wins a lot of fights. And I think this is probably a fight he does win. I will say, though, I think Victor Henry's really good, Marcel. He's a good fighter, man. Guys, he's really, watch his tape. The guy's good. He can wrestle. He can strike. He can submit you. He has a shitload of experience. He has good wins, including a win over Kyler Phillips just 3 years ago. That's a really nice win. I actually remember watching that fight a few months ago. Before Kyler Phillips fought Sonya Dong, I watched that fight back, and I remember being like, damn, this guy lost to him. I'm like, who is this guy? Now, obviously, I had to look up this guy. He's good, man. He's good, Marcel. This is a nice signing for the UFC, I think. It is short notice, though, So, and he's fighting a really good guy in Barcelos. So I still got to go with Ione as the pick, Marcel, but I think Henry has a chance. I really do. I understand why the odds are the way they are. They should be this way, but the Mongoose can win this fight, Marcel. I really think he can. He's a good fighter. He can surprise us. So it's a slight lean towards Ione Barcelos, but I think this guy's pretty good. What do you think, Marcel?
I actually agree, despite that Josh Barnett was upset with me because of the fight announcement picture. But yeah, I think Victor Henry is a great fighter, man. I think he's really good. Like I said, Josh Barnett is actually his coach. He is like his main coach. And I mean, Henry, I saw him in other promotions as well, in Ryzen, for example. And like you said, there's a win over Kyler Phillips 3 years ago, and that's impressive, Yeah. Also has a win over Denis Lavrentiev. He also lost to him very recently. And Lavrentiev is pretty much also the training partner of Piotr Jan, right? So a good friend as well. So for me, it's super difficult, to be really honest, man, because I think many people will blindly choose Ione Barcelos here, but I think it's much closer than many people expect.
Yeah.
Still, I see Ione Barcelos being solid in his grappling as well. I know he lost to Valiev, but still, Valiev is a great fighter. I'm a big fan of Timo Valiev, so. I'm still taking Barcelos, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Henry wins it, man. I think it's a super close fight.
No, I feel the same way. It seems like we have the same opinion on this fight. Let me get these comments. Rod Torque, buddy, what's going on, man? We're talking about the Tafa fight. Yeah, maybe he does. Hopefully he does. The guy's got some potential. Sad Barcelos is going to push farther. He's got the skills too. So I agree. I mean, this was short notice, though. He's supposed to fight. Who was supposed to fight again? What was the fight originally?
He was supposed to fight Trevin Jones.
That would have been a good fight. All right. I like Henry, but he gets hit way too much. I think Barcelos defensive grappling not to have issues. That's how I feel like too. Barcelos knockout easy. I don't know, man. I mean, I think this guy Henry can surprise us. He kind of reminds me of Chris Curtis a little bit, Marcel. He's the same age, 34 years old, coming to UFC with nothing to lose, short notice.
And it's not
talented.
Talented. This dude is not inexperienced or whatever.
He's not a scrub, man. Like I watched the Raphael Silva fights on Fight Pass, and I watched it. I thought he won that fight. That's a decent win. He beat Phillips. He beat Anderson dos Santos, who was just in the UFC too.
Yeah.
Masanori Kanehara, Albert Morales. These guys are UFC fighters. This guy's good. He's not a scrub, man. But again, short notice. So that's if it was a full camp, Marcel, I honestly would consider picking the guy because I think he's decent. All right, let's go to the next fight. This is the last prelim, guys. Let's go through this one. Also, Raw Torque says he wants to live bet it. Yeah, I mean, that could be interesting too. All right, so the next fight, Dustin Stoltz versus Gerald Murshart. What happened, Marcel? What?
Weird ass fight.
It is weird. It's just because of how we got here, right? Like, obviously, the way we got here was kind of funny. But anyways, we got Murshart right now is the favorite, minus 235. Dustin Stoltz is plus 195. Yeah, very bizarre circumstances, but we end up with this fight in the end. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like Murshart is a better fighter, man. To be really honest, he's just. I think he takes him down, to be honest, and he submits him. That's what I think. I don't think Stoltz is a bad fighter, but I just think Murshart is a much better one. That's how I see it. So I'm going with a submission win for Gerald Murshart. I don't know if he does it the first round, if not the second, if not the third, but he's going to win this fight, man. I would be surprised if Stoltz wins, man. To be really honest.
So you're picking Murshart by what, decision or submission?
Submission, first, second, or third round, but he's going to win it with a submission.
All right, so yeah, I mean, like it's one of those fights where it almost feels like it's too easy to pick in a way, Marcel. It almost like Miradov and Murshart. What were you saying?
Like Nunez against Pena.
Yeah, or like what's his name, Vieira against Hernandez, or Murshart against Miradov. One of these fights. Listen, like Murshart is incredible at the submissions, right? And Dustin's coming off a submission loss, so Gerald gets him down. I think the conventional thing would be that he submits him. I think that's what happens too, right? I think Gerald wins this fight. I mean, to me, he's like the better fighter. He's got more experience, obviously the better ground game. But his striking's not great. And Dustin, if he keeps it standing, he could win the fight. It's just Vieira outboxed the guy in his last fight. Vieira's not really a striker, so to me, it's like I feel like Gerald probably has more ways to win Marcel in this fight, but I don't know. I'm not like I don't love him in the spot either. It's kind of a weird the way the fight came together is kind of bizarre. So. I think Murshart probably gets him down though. Marcel gets the neck, takes him out by a rear naked choke or something. But it's kind of a weird one, to be honest with you. And here's the thing, like, I mean, listen, like, there's going to be some upsets, and right now we haven't really called too many on this card, so that worries me a little bit too. Marcel, like, I understand, guys. Every fight is different. Not just because one fight ended because 5 straight favorites won doesn't mean that underdogs don't win. I get that, but we all watch this every week. We all know that not every favorite in the prelims is going to win their fight. So there's going to be someone that upsets the apple cart, and I'm honestly not too sure who that's going to be. But we did, talk about all the fights, so there's upset potential for sure. I don't think it's this fight, but you never know. Let me get these comments. Stoltz with only one knockout after otherwise an injury. Go with Murshart ground advantage. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Glenn. I think we both feel that way. Hey, Sean, what's up? Gerald parlay killer Murshart. Yeah, I know. You don't want to bet against this guy. Hype MMA, I want to pick Murshart, but when I have the confidence picking, he doesn't show up. I know he's one of those hit and miss guys. He is. No disrespect for Gerald, but he's not fired to be favored highly. Bit of a brawler. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't love laying juice on this guy, but he should win the fight. Murshart by sub. Yeah, what is that by the way? Let's take a look. Murshart by sub would be
minus 200.
No, it'll be plus money. Plus 175. So
I mean plus, yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Because that seems like the method of victory for him in this fight. Let's just see what you guys are saying. Gerald exposed. Muradov, man, for me that was surprising, but obviously that guy's not as good. Murshart by decision, that could happen too. Actually, you're right, because Stoltz is decent defensively. Murshart decision is plus 380, so there's good value on that. Interesting. All right, let's go to the next fight, Marcel. All right, that's it for the prelims, guys. Let's go to the main card. Cub Swanson versus Derrick Elkins kicking off the main card. Cub Swanson minus 210, Derrick Elkins plus 175. What do you think?
Dude, Derrick fucking Elkins. There is again. Dude always comes to fight. He's on the 2-fight win streak up right now. Should have been on a 3-fight win streak, in my opinion. But we all know If it goes to the judges, he loses because he looks like somebody hit him with a hammer or whatever multiple times on the face. He always has cuts on his face. He's called the damage for a reason, right? So if you have Cub Swanson, he lost pretty convincingly to Giga Chikadze last time out. Before that, in my opinion, a surprising win against Pineda, and before that, a win against Kron Gracie. So he was on a 2-fight win streak before losing to Chikadze. The funny thing is, man, I think Elkins will do work in this fight, but he gets cut open again, and he will lose a decision against Cub Swanson because the referee or the judges will see it as much damage, and he will lose again, 29-28. I think he actually wins the fight, 29-28, but he's going to lose on the scorecard, so I'm going with Cub Swanson.
Yeah, this is a good fight, too. I like this fight. Two veterans. I've been watching this guy's fight forever. It's a great fight. It's almost surprising they haven't fought yet. I feel like I have a good read on both guys. I've watched them fight for so long, and I'm pretty good at picking their fights. I'm actually really good at picking Cubs fights. I think I'm on like a 10-fight, correct streak with him. Elkins, obviously, he's one of those guys, man. It's hard to bet against him. You guys know. How many times? I mean, actually, I don't have to ask that. I know how many times. It's been like, I think he's won 12 times as an underdog in the UFC. So this guy is constantly counted out, and he constantly wins. Now, Cub Swanson also the same boat in some places. He's been a dog and counted out. But here in this fight, I don't see why Cub should be minus 210, guys. I don't agree with that at all. I think this fight is really close. I think it's like a pick 'em. I'm taking Darren Elkins in this fight, Marcel. I just think his toughness and durability will win him the fight. I really do.
Me too, but the judges won't.
Yeah, no, it's fair but the thing with the Nate Langworth fight, like it was mostly a stand-up fight. If this guy's smart, and I think he is a smart fighter, we know he's a smart fighter. I think he's going to take Cub Swanson down and fight Cub on the ground. Cub's grappling is just okay. It's not great. I think he could take him down and beat him on the ground, honestly, because I think his wrestling is good enough to get it there and to like just control him, if not submit him maybe. But again, I think a lot of the favorites on this card win. Elkins is the one dog for me that stands out. I like him quite a bit in this fight. I think he wins the decision. So maybe he submits him too. It's possible. Let me take a look at that. Elkins by decision and submission. Decisions plus 420, which is really nice. That's crazy. And inside distance plus 425. I would lean a little towards the decision. But yeah, I'm going with Elkins in this one, Marcel. So we're on the opposite side. That's okay. So Glenn just saw this on Twitter, I'm guessing. Mousasi Vanderford, February 25th in Dublin. Yeah, it's a good fight. I mean, Mousasi should be favored like minus, 400, I would say, honestly. But Vanderford's solid. So interesting fight. I would say Mousasi probably wins, but Marcel, the one hole in this game, the wrestling. Maybe Vanderford just controls him, right?
Not more the takedown defense.
Yeah, exactly. Rudy says, what happened to Kron? That fight was a banger. It was a good fight. I did pick Cub in that fight to win as a dog, which was amazing. Because Kron's not a great striker. I don't know. I don't think he has a lot of interest in MMA right now. That's what I think. Swanson's a sharp puncher. Should be able to bloody up Elkins. So I'm telling me Elkins is going to win. I have to tape study. You got to pull a Dominic Cruz into your tape study. Don't pull a Daniel Cormier and don't do your Marcel. Don't skip on your tape study like DC does. Yeah, you could. I agree with that. Team Alpha Male guys all got dropped last few times. Made Elkins bet Elkins to get knocked down. That's interesting. Like we don't have DraftKings in Canada yet. Like the sportsbook, we have the DFS obviously. But when that opens, hopefully next February, they're saying, I can start making those kind of like bets like that because those have crazy value. And I'm kind of with you in that. I think there's definitely a chance that happens because Darren does get dropped a lot in his fights. But again, Marcel, he's a very difficult guy to put away. Very hard to put away. You almost have to kill the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he comes back and wins. I think he's going to lose the first round and then come back and win the fight. That's what I think happens. Like he did it so many times. All right, let's go to the next fight. And here's one of our favorites on the podcast, Matthias Gamrod taking on Diego Ferreira. Great fight, 155 pounds. Gamrot minus 190, Ferreira plus 165. I'm going to start with this one, Marcel. I like Gamrot. You guys know I like Gamrot. I mean, do I have to say it? You guys know how much I like this guy. To me, he's still undefeated. I thought he beat Kataladze. Definitely beat Holtzman, and then he destroyed Jeremy Stevens. The way he beat Stevens, it was like so dominant. Like, who else has really did that to Jeremy? I know he's obviously lost a lot, but who's taking him down and tapped him out that fast? It was so impressive. I just think the guy's so well-rounded right now. Training at American Top Team, to me, he's just one of the most well-rounded guys. Ferreira is a good fighter, really good, and he looked great against Gillespie before he gassed out. But again, that gas tank's a worry. I think he can be, controlled on the ground. The guy's a really good fighter, but to me, he doesn't fight that often. This year he's fought twice, but he hasn't looked great in those fights. So I feel like he's age 36 on a decline now. Gamrot's getting this guy a really good time. He's 31 years old. Actually, he's just 30. His birthday's he just turned 31 3 days ago. I think he's getting with a good time, Marcel. I think Gamrot wins this fight all day. I love Gamrot in this fight. I think probably a decision. Stoppage is possible, but I love him in this fight. What do you think?
Yeah, me too, man. Obviously, I'm a fan of Ferreira as well. But if you look at the two guys, I think Gamrot is winning this fight. Gamrot is good, overall, very complete fighter. Good on the ground, good stand up. Ferreira, like you say, he gasses late in fights, and Gamrot is just. Gamrot has fought 5 rounds before as well, and he looks good pretty much all the time. He had difficulties with Kutatelatse, but it was a close fight, It's kind of sad that he has now that blemish on his record for a split decision, but it was a close fight. I wasn't like it's an undeserved win for Kutatelatse, but it could have been also for Gamrot. It was super close. Mm-hmm. I'm taking Gerald in this one, man. Is he going to finish Ferreira as possible? I prefer to take a decision here because I think Ferreira is super tough.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Let me get these comments quickly, guys. With the last fight, Raw Torque thinks Elkin's more rounded. I think so too. That's why I picked him. Adam, I don't appreciate you calling me out for a lack of tape study. Like Dominic Cruz said, you got to do your tape study. MMA is different than other sports, right? You can't just look at the stats like in baseball or something. You have to actually watch it. Such a good fight. I see a late third round. I think it's possible too, man. Tony's mysterious opponent. No idea. And he's been talking about opponent, but I don't know. All right, 4 more fights left. Raphael Sunsao versus Ricky Simone. Right now, Simone minus what is he? Minus 270 plus 230 for Sunsao. Give your thoughts.
Yeah, Ricky, don't call me Simone. He's strong with the wrestling, as we all know. He's just strong with that. I think he had this. He had a great start in the UFC. He went 3-0 in the beginning. Although, gotta be really honest, the fight against Marab, it kind of still bothers me. But no disrespect to Ricky, I still think that was a bullshit call. But yeah, whatever. After that, he got 2 losses against Font and against Faber. But it's probably maybe he wasn't ready for those kind of fights at that moment. You know what I mean? And he has looked good lately, got 3 wins. Now he's fighting Raphael Sunsao. Sunsao, 3 losses in a row. He didn't look bad early on against Cody, but he got knocked out. Last win in 2018. This is for Ricky Simone a second chance to blow his career. To blow his career new air, that he gets a new chance to get into the rankings with fighting Asunsao here. And Asunsao has looked, like I said, he looked pretty good against Cody in the earlier of the fight. But I still think Simone wins this one, man.
Yeah, so I kind of feel the same way. Give me your thoughts on this. I remember this one because my sister she got married the same day this fight happened. When Uriah Faber knocked out Ricky Simone, that to me was one of the bigger surprises in the last few years. I couldn't believe that because Faber, I think, had come off a long layoff. I was shocked. So, again, it just shows that anyone can lose and win in the sport. So, yeah, it does seem like Ricky should win this fight, but man, I don't know if I'm buying him as this huge favorite though. Marcel, he's
I don't agree with that as well.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a little disrespectful towards Raphael. The guy's fought the best in the world. He's beaten the champ, Sterling. Yeah. He's beaten Dillashaw. He's got some amazing wins. Obviously, he's 39 years old now. He's on decline, 3 straight losses. So everything's pointing to him losing, right? I'm just saying it's almost like one of those fights, Marcel. Again, it seems too easy. What happens though if Ricky can't get him down? The fight takes place in the feed. Does he still win the fight then? I don't know. So I think Ricky Simone probably doesn't get takedowns, guys. There's a reason he is the favorite here. But again, Raphael is such an underrated guy, Marcel. He's so just solid, And I think he's got a better chance than the odds are indicating. But again, the long layoff, the age, I can't pick him, one of those things. Yeah, it was one of the worst calls. And the weird thing is it's still called a TKO submission, which makes no sense. Huge different quality opposition. That's what I'm saying, Glenn. That's what I'm saying. You know, like Ricky Sloan's a good fighter and he's young, right? He's got good wrestling. But again, Raphael Sonsel's fought and beaten the best guys in the world, literally has a win over the champs. So, all right, let's go to the next fight. Amanda Lemos against Angela Hill. Lemos minus 350, Hill plus 290. I'll start with this one too, Marcel. You know, Amanda Lemos is someone, and I know you feel the same way. This is someone who could be a champion. You know, like she is really good, like huge power in this weight class at 115. Good grappling skills. She has 4 knockdowns in her last 3 fights. That's very impressive for this weight class. I think she's looked phenomenal this year with the 2 straight wins. And then on the other hand, you have Angela Hill, someone who I've never really thought that highly of, someone who I think is like kind of overrated and basically a 500 fighter. Now, to be fair to Angela, she's fought really high level competition, right? So she's fought the best of the best, but doesn't really win. You know, Marcel, like just because she's fighting the best fighters doesn't mean she's winning, and she's not for the most part. So, you know, for me, I think Lemos wins. There's the only worry I have is if she doesn't get the knockout, if she gasses out, because I don't think Angela's been finished by strikes before. So, you know, if Lemos doesn't get the finish, does she get a little bit tired? Angela Hill takes over and wins the decision. I don't think so, Marcel. I think this actually could be Lemos getting a knockout and Angela Hill getting finished for the first time. I got to pick up Amanda Lemos. Based on how she's looked, the power, I got to pick her. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I said on the Dutch podcast, when are we going to stop give Angela Hill main card fights, man, to be really honest. And that's no disrespect.
UFC loves her, man. They love her.
Yeah, I know. And I understand that she's very likable with the fans, but let's be really honest, man. I don't see her cracking a top 10 anytime soon. So for me, it's like Lemos. I'm really high on Lemos. We all know she had a bad first UFC fight, but it wasn't the bantamweight division. You know, remember, she went from bantamweight to strawweight, right? And I think she was she suspended for 2 years? I think she was between the Smith fight and her comeback fight.
Yeah, I want to say she was.
Yeah. So after that, she has looked phenomenal in my opinion, and she looked great. And I expect another great fight from her. I'm taking her via KO in the first round. I think
there
she
you go.
finishes now.
Yeah, I think she can get it done too. I think she does have that much power and the accuracy too. But again, it does get interesting if she doesn't get that first round finish, guys, because you know, I don't know if the power will hold up for 3 rounds. Let's get these comments. Sometimes it's all about quality opposition, where both guys are in the careers, age, momentum. Exactly, I agree, and that's why again, JFM. There's a reason he's minus 300. Like that's the easy pick. I'm just saying, like, there's going to be some upsets, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Raphael's a very experienced guy, so maybe he's the guy. I don't think so, but it's worth mentioning. Glad you're saying about Simone. Not that confident either. He should win, but again, you know, I don't know if I'd play him with that number. It was supposed to be Nina Lemos. Yeah, it would have been tough. It was supposed to be Nina Nunes and Amanda Lemos. Lemos first and second round knockout. That could be the way to do it instead. Lemos live for a finish. Yep, I'd like Lemos, but I can't trust her power strong. I'll take Lemos. You're talking about? I think he's talking about Hill. He meant to say. You know what weight class Josiane compete? The kid girl that she was fighting at 135, but I think she's going to go back down to one. Hopefully, it goes down. I think she can even go down to 115. Man, I really do. She's not big at all. She's small. Lemos has rounds with grapplers. Carter should hold up. Seems like there's a decent weight cut, though concerned. Yeah, I agree with that too. Hill was subbed by Spars and tough. 8 first round finishes for Lemos is impressive. Yeah, like I said, Glenn, I don't think she's been finished by strikes before, right, Angela? But she's been subbed. All right, go to the co-main event. We got Belal Muhammad versus Stephen Thompson. Right now, Stephen Thompson minus 225, Belal Muhammad plus 185. Marcel, give me your pick in the co-main event, UFC Vegas 45.
I think this fight is going to be an absolute boredom, to be really honest, man. I think Belal will try to get the fight to the mat ASAP. I think Thompson will try to manage his distance. And listen, man, Belal is a good grappler in my opinion, but he's not on the level of Gilbert Burns. You know what I mean? And Gilbert could take him down, could control him there, and I don't think Thompson lets Belal control him there. So I expect Thompson to take his distance, to land shots, and to win a 30-27 decision over Belal Muhammad. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, I think Thompson probably wins the decision too. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Marcel just kind of stays at range and just outpoints him.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Belal's got a chance, I think, because if he implements the wrestling, he'll win this fight. You know, it's just, I'm with you. Like, I think Gilbert's, like, at a higher level with the wrestling. And really, Thompson's tough to take down historically. I just think Gilbert, you know, was that strong. But there is a clear path to victory. So I don't really think there's, like, crazy value in Stephen Thompson here, plus minus 225. Like, I wouldn't play him because his opponent has a clear path to victory with the grappling. So, Belal Muhammad's a live dog here, I think. Honestly, I really do. But I can't pick him. I think Thompson just keeps it standing and picks him apart, Marcel. Go ahead.
Man, I hate to talk shit about Stephen Thompson, but the guy always kind of fights kind of safe lately, in my opinion, and it's like if I see Stephen Thompson against whoever, I think he's definitely most of the times he's a better stand-up fighter, but if he can make sure he's not going to take him down, I'm taking Wonderboy all the time via decision, you know what I mean? And the only time he pretty much didn't took it when I thought he was going to take it was against Anthony Pettis, where he got that Superman punch knockout. Yeah. But overall, Thompson, you know what he's going to do. And that's what I think.
Did you guys know Angela Hill's grandparents were famously abducted by aliens? No, I didn't know that. John, what's going on, man? Are you still banned on Twitter, John? They should rebook Lemos versus Nunez. Yeah, they should do that fight. They're going to use Nunez as like fodder for these up-and-comers now. Should have been Wonderboy and Kamzat. I think it should have been too. I see Thompson active for a knockout. Sometimes he seems too lean. Yeah, I agree. He plays it safe, like Marcel said. After he got knocked out by Pettis, I feel like he's kind of, being even farther back than before. But that's the way he's got to fight. Yeah, I think decision by Wonderboy. That seems like the right play. Go the distance. Let's take a look, you guys. I think it goes decision. Decision is minus 225. It's literally the exact same price as Steven. If you just bet him straight up. Thompson by decision plus 110. Muhammad decision plus 350. I mean, I feel like there's value on that decision for Muhammad, guys. Like, again, I'm not picking him, but I think there's a chance he could win decision. Like, that would be the way he wins the fight. I don't think he finishes Stephen Thompson. Knockout by Lewis, the decision by Wonderboy. I mean, those are both possible. What's going on, Rockwell? Burns was a crazy underdog, destroyed Wonderboy. He was like plus 170, I want to say, minus something like that. It was like under minus 200, under plus 200. It wasn't crazy, but yeah, it's true. I agree with that. He was going to lose that fight. He keeps talking about Belal. Keeps saying I want to fight Leon again, but he was losing that fight, Marcel, for the eye poke. Mm-hmm. All right, and I agree with JFM. We're forgetting I'm not really, but I feel like you are forgetting that fight with Luke Marcel. Like even the Jeff Neal fight. I mean, he was very active. He did have a bad performance against Gamrot. Let's not completely forget what this guy did before that, though.
He's active, but he's not convincing. He's convincing and winning the fight, but he's not convincing to me that he really absolutely wants to finish the fight. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
That's what I think.
That's fair. I agree with that. All right, let's go to the main event. Derrick Lewis versus Chris Dawkis. Minus 120 for Chris Dawkis, plus 100 Derrick Lewis. So this is actually the closest fight, odds-wise, besides Sales and Levitt to open the card. So you got bookends. The first fight and the last fight are the closest fights in the card, according to odds. Marcel, give me your main event pick. UFC Vegas 45. Chris Dawkis, Derrick Lewis. Who's going to win the fight?
Yeah, so I'm pretty convinced of my pick here. So you got Derrick Lewis, who always can land a knockout shot at any time, at any moment, at any round. And you got Chris Dawkis, who has knockout power as well, but also has a very good ground game. You know what I mean? So what I expect, honestly, is that they're going to trade some shots maybe, but they will be very hesitant because at least I think Dawkins will be hesitant because he respects Lewis' power. But at a certain moment, he will take Lewis down, probably will double leg. And I see a TKO, first round TKO for Dawkins for me.
Wow, there you go. Marcel sees a blowout kind of. I'm going with Chris Dawkins too. I feel like it's hard not to pick him, right? Because he's on such a nice win streak, so much momentum right now. And he's looked great. But it's like, Derrick's fought such better competition, right? He really has. Right. So I just, it's hard to pick Derrick because a lot of his wins are comebacks, right? You can't really count on that, It's just hard to count on it. Like, I've bet on this guy a lot during his career, guys. Like, I've made a lot of money on Derrick Lewis, like, as a dog many times, Marcel, when he fought, like, Nagano, for instance, had plus 300 dog. I mean, there's been times where I've lost against him too, but he's a guy that it's hard to bet against as a dog. So I understand why the odds are tight. I think they should be tight. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Derrick's still, to me, kind of a glass cannon, Marcel, Like, he's like over him. Like, when he's the one landing, he looks amazing. But when he's the one getting punched back, he can't really take a shot, man. I don't think his chin is that good, We saw in the last fight, Marcel, like, just didn't really do much at all and got destroyed. And he's been knocked out quite a few times. Like, he's been knocked out, I think, 5 times in the UFC. So I think Derrick's definitely got a puncher's chance, obviously, in that first round, but
For sure.
Chris, I think, has got a puncher's chance, and also, like you said, he's got the ground game too, I think. So I got to go with Chris Dawkis, Marcel. I got to go with this guy, but I'm just saying, like, you got to watch with this guy a little bit because as good as he has looked at the UFC, Marcel, if you go and watch his fights in CFC before, guys, he did lose a few times. He's been knocked out. He's been finished by submission. So as good as he's looked, Marcel, there's a big difference in fighting, Olenek and Abdurrahimov, Nascimento, Porter, and fighting Derrick Lewis, So this could be the fight where he loses, but there's just nothing telling me right now is going to be the fight he loses because he's looked so good lately. So got to go with Chris Dawkis by knockout. It's just, again, Derrick's a very difficult guy to bet against, because he knocked out so many people in his career. It's crazy. All right, let's get some comments, guys. All right, we got a lot of comments on this one. Raw Festival, first round knockout for Lewis. Rockwell says Black Beast knockout. There you go, another knockout for Derrick Lewis. Dawkins got hit more than likely against Shamil. Me too. I agree with that. Wonder if Dawkins tries to grapple. That's what Marcel thinks. Dawkins ain't no gone. Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, I feel like he might have more like pure power, but like as far as technical striking, I mean, Gone is obviously very, very good, and he's uses his kicks too. People make it seem like Dawkins has got blades type wrestling. No, I don't think he does either. I think it'll be harder to get him down than Marcel said. Personally, I don't think it'll be as easy, but I could see it happening because Derrick just doesn't have much takedown defense at all. Dawkins' opponents are weak. Doesn't deserve to be a favorite for me. I don't think you're wrong, Glenn, either. Honestly, like I have to pick someone. I'm going to pick the guy that younger guy, more momentum. But the odds are. I think they're fair right now. Earlier in the week, they were wider. Body shot TKO. Dawkins going to pick him apart. Well, hopefully that's what we're picking. And I agree with this. Lewis is not a great nail, but he can be a great hammer. Let's see here. Latifi and Ivanov took down Lewis more times than Blades. I mean, Blades wrestling is not important. That's the thing. The Latifi fight throws me off because he was going to lose that fight, Marcel. He basically had like 30 seconds, I think, in the end of the third round where he won the fight back. Remember that one, Marcel? Like it wasn't impressive, And Chris could do that to him maybe too. Let's see here. This is funny. Black Beast is a fetish for knocking out wrestlers. That is funny. Listen, Derrick Lewis is a good fighter, man. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But again, he's been stopped. He's been finished 6 times in his career. Dawkins 3 times. I'll say this fight's not going 5 rounds. I'll say that right now. Odds on this seems low to be honest. Minus 350, guys, on the fight not going the distance. It should be like minus 700. How is it only minus 350? You're getting good value on that. That's a great parlay piece, I think. And honestly, I think like under 1.5 rounds is plus money, but even under 2.5 rounds is only minus 150. That's a good bet, I think. I don't think this fight goes more than like 1 or 2 rounds, max 2 rounds. I don't think it goes more than that. These guys don't have the cardio to go 5 rounds more, so there's just no way. So that's what I'd be looking at. Maybe like the under, because I think someone gets finished, gets flatlined in this fight, and I don't feel like it's. I'm not going off the rails on that one, Marcel. I think all of us feel that way. All right. So, anyways, that's it for this preview. That was fun, Marcel. It should be a good card, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's the last card of the year, guys, for the UFC. So enjoy it. We'll be back next Monday. I'll be back with Marcel 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll recap this card. So hopefully you guys enjoy the fights as we can make some money doing so. Marcel, plug your stuff. Let's get out of here, man.
Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram, MMADNA.nl on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at MMAOB. This podcast is at MMAOBdaily.com. It's on our iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, all those places you can get it. Also find me at MMAOBdaily.com, MyMainNews.com, and then Bookies.com is my new full-time employer. So things are going really well so far. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I definitely enjoyed it, Marcel. Thanks again. Be back, like I said, Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern to recap what happened on this card. Good luck, everyone. Talk to you soon, guys. Peace.